Welcome to the Sexual Harassment Prevention Training presentation for employees. Please make sure your audio is turned on. There will be a form each individual will need to complete at the end of this training video regarding the material discussed. The agenda for this presentation includes what is sexual harassment, what are the different types of sexual harassment, and what are some examples, why is it important to prevent sexual harassment in our workplace, and what are your responsibilities as an employee. Sexual harassment training is not required under federal law. However, many states have enacted legislation specifically requiring sexual harassment training. Even if not required in a specific state, the Supreme Court's landmark decisions in the 1998 Farragher and Ellerth sexual harassment cases, subsequent court decisions, and the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission guidelines make it clear that sexual harassment training is essential in the workplace. This presentation will provide you with the information on how to recognize sexual harassment and review our company policy and procedure on responding to and reporting sexual harassment concerns within the workplace. What is sexual harassment? So sexual harassment can be considered unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and any other verbal, written, electronic, or physical conduct of a sexual nature that affects an individual's employment, unreasonably interferes with someone's performance, or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. What are the two forms of sexual harassment? The first form that we will cover in this presentation is quid pro quo, which essentially is Latin for this for that, or something in exchange for something else. The second form that we will cover is hostile work environment. Quid pro quo is the tangible employment action against the victim. It involves monetary loss or a change in a job title. An example of this would be Yvette, an employee, receives a smaller performance-based pay increase than other employees with the similar performance because she refused to go on a date with her supervisor, Marcus. In regards to a hostile work environment, this can be considered speech or conduct that is severe and/or pervasive enough to create an abusive or hostile work environment. In addition to speech and/or conduct, hostile work environment covers explicit or suggestive items that are emailed, texted, electronically provided, or even displayed in the workplace that interfere with job performance or that creates an abusive or hostile work environment. One example of this would be an employee, Max, is staring at and intentionally brushing against another employee, Vanessa. A second example of this would be employee Maria emails and text messages her coworkers with explicit jokes and pictures. Who can commit sexual harassment? Employees at all levels can commit sexual harassment. Customers or vendors, and even members of the same sex or opposite sex. Who can be the victim of sexual harassment? Individual or individuals targeted by statements or actions, and even bystanders or witnesses not directly targeted by sexual harassment can still be a victim of the sexual harassment. Why is it important to prevent sexual harassment in our workplace? Sexual harassment harms us all. The most important parts of our corporate values is to ensure all employees are treated with respect and dignity. Engaging in, condoning, or not reporting sexual harassment is in direct conflict with our values. We want to remain in compliance with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, which prohibits sex discrimination, including sexual orientation and gender identity or expression. We want to remain in compliance with similar state civil rights laws and fair employment laws. Your responsibility as an employee are to know and comply with our policy and procedure regarding sexual harassment. Know who you should report to immediately in the case that you experience or witness sexual harassment. report incidents that you experience directly or witness, and cooperate with investigations. Finally, supporting the victims of sexual harassment as well. An overview of this presentation contains that sexual harassment is illegal under federal and state laws, unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and any other verbal, written, electronic, or physical conduct of sexual nature that affects an individual's employment, unreasonably interferes with an employee's work performance, or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. There are two forms of sexual harassment, those being quid pro quo and hostile work environment. Your responsibilities as an employee regarding prevention of sexual harassment are to know and comply with our policy and procedure, report incidents that you experience directly or witness, cooperate with investigations, and support victims of sexual harassment. If you have any questions regarding the contents of this presentation or regarding sexual harassment, you can contact Carolyn Dotson, our Human Resources Officer at L.I. Smith & Associates. Her telephone number is 731-644-1014, and her email is c.dotson@lismith.com. Thank you for your time. Please complete the training survey at the end of this presentation.